My name is Arthur. I'm 92 years old. I realized something recently that I wasn't prepared for. I've outlived the people who truly knew me. Not just loved me, but knew me. The ones who remembered my mistakes without judging them. The ones who saw who I was before I learned how to be careful. They're all gone now. What's left is me, and a lifetime of memories that no one else can confirm. That's why I'm speaking now. I'm 92 now. And I've realized something I wasn't prepared for. The people who truly knew me, the ones who saw who I was, who heard my mistakes, who laughed at the same jokes, are gone. Their absence leaves my memories unshared, fragile, and heavier than I ever expected. I carry my past alone, and it feels quieter than life should be. Longevity isn't only about living longer, it's about outlasting witnesses. No one remains to confirm who I was, what I feared, or the way I once dreamed. Every anecdote I tell now lands softly, without echo. I realize that living without the people who shaped me turns memory into a solitary act, and every recollection weighs differently when there's no one left to witness it. I still remember voices I'll never hear again. My mother calling me for dinner, my brother laughing across the yard, friends shouting my name in excitement. But those voices are mine alone now. There's no one to correct my memory or remind me I've forgotten details. I repeat these recollections quietly, careful not to feel the emptiness that arrives when no one responds. Conversations have changed. People I meet now know me as the quiet, careful man I am today. They don't see the recklessness, the jokes, or the mistakes that once defined me. They meet the ending of my story, not the chapters that built it. It's not resentment I feel, just a quiet sense of loss for who I was in a world that no longer exists. Photographs help, but only partially. They show frozen moments that hold no life beyond the paper or screen. I recognize faces, smiles, and eyes, but I am the only one who remembers the laughter behind them. Looking at them is like walking through a country that no longer appears on maps. The places are there, but the life that animated them is gone, leaving silence in its place. I sometimes catch myself wanting to explain who I used to be, not to impress, just to feel seen. 70 years of context doesn't fit in a conversation that lasts 10 minutes, so I keep most of it inside, where it lives quietly with me. Sharing seems impossible, and remaining silent feels safer, even as it reminds me how few witnesses remain. I'd remember being someone's favorite, their first call, the person whose absence mattered. Now days pass quietly, and no one notices if I don't speak. This change arrived slowly, so gently I almost didn't see it. But now, sitting alone in the house, I can feel the weight of it. Survival has outlasted connection, and it is not the gift I imagined it would be. There's a strange loneliness in being remembered by no one. People are kind. They listen politely, but kindness isn't intimacy. They see the version of me that exists now, not the one who made mistakes, chased dreams, or laughed too loudly. Being known was one of life's gifts, and now that gift is gone. I carry it carefully, in fragments and quiet remembrance. Memory doesn't fade evenly. Some faces remain sharp, some names vanish. I forget what happened yesterday, but recall conversations from 60 years ago perfectly. The past feels closer than the present. I am constantly balancing between what's gone and what's still with me, and the effort of holding it together is exhausting, because no one else is sharing the load. Outliving people changes you. You learn how to live in rooms that feel too empty. You talk to ghosts, not for answers, but to feel their presence again. Sometimes I say their names aloud, not expecting them to respond. It reminds me that they existed, that they mattered, and that I mattered to them. That alone is enough to carry me through some days. Being the last one who remembers certain things gives them a strange weight. If I forget them, they disappear completely. Birthdays, jokes, small gestures, arguments, they all exist only in me now. That responsibility presses gently, reminding me that memory is fragile, and once it's gone, no one can confirm it. Carrying it alone is both a burden and a quiet honor. I speak less of the past now because it feels complicated to explain. Most people don't have the context to understand my stories. It's easier to smile politely, nod, and let conversations drift toward mundane topics. Even so, I treasure those stories, holding them internally, revisiting them when no one is watching. Like a private library, I must maintain myself. I don't feel bitter about outliving everyone. Mostly, I feel still, a soft melancholy that appears during ordinary moments. After meals, when the house is quiet, or when a song plays that once held laughter and tears. It's gentle but persistent. I realize I've been learning to live in a world where memories exist only inside me. People often ask me what it's like to live this long. I answer simply, it's long and quiet, but the truth is layered. Living decades longer means repeatedly losing those who defined you. Grief doesn't come all at once. It accumulates silently, shaping each year until the feeling of absence becomes familiar, like a room you've grown used to inhabiting alone. Memory doesn't fade evenly. Some faces are vivid. Some names vanish entirely. I can forget something I did last week, but remember perfectly a conversation from 60 years ago. The past feels closer than yesterday. Holding it without anyone to share it makes it heavier, and every recollection carries a quiet tension, a weight that only I can bear. I notice how often I speak in the past tense. I describe people as if they're just in the other room. For a brief moment, it feels true. Then reality hits. The room is empty, the phone silent. The past occupies more space than the present. I'm surrounded by memories, yet few are alive to share them, and that is a peculiar kind of loneliness. There's a loneliness in not being fully known anymore. Kindness isn't the same as understanding. People see the version of me that exists now, not the one who made mistakes, took risks, or dreamed wildly. I am a composite of my past selves, but no one remains to witness that mosaic. My story lives, but only within me. I don't miss being young. I miss being remembered, being part of someone else's ongoing story. Now my life is like a book almost finished, with very few readers left. I flip through the pages in my mind, revisiting chapters that are no longer part of anyone else's memory, treasuring details no one else can recall, and carrying their absence gently. Sometimes I speak aloud to people who aren't here, not because I expect an answer, but because saying their names reminds me that they existed, that they mattered. It's a ritual of remembrance, a way of confirming to myself that these connections were real, that they shaped me, and that though they are gone, their impact is still woven into the fabric of who I am. Being truly known is a rare and fleeting gift. When it happens, it changes you. When it ends, It leaves an echo that follows you quietly. I outlived the people who knew me best, but I carry them in my habits, my pauses, my laughter, and the way I remember the little things. Even if no one else can witness it, their presence is still alive within me. I don't regret living this long. I am grateful for the extra sunrises, the quiet mornings, the simple routines. But time outlasts everyone. It doesn't stop, and being the last one remaining can feel less like a gift and more like standing in an empty room after the music has ended. Loneliness arrives softly, but it is constant. Parts of me exist only in memory. Now, versions shaped by friends, arguments, shared secrets, and laughter. Without those people, those versions fade too, even though they once felt permanent. I carry them carefully, treating them like fragile keepsakes, knowing that when I go, they will go with me, leaving only the echoes that I've preserved. I revisit my memories slowly, deliberately. I don't rush them, because they are all I have left of certain people. Each story, each smile, each moment of being seen and understood feels sacred. I hold them gently, aware that memory alone is the only way to keep someone alive once they are gone from the world. When people say, "You must have seen so much," they're right. I have. But seeing so much also means losing so much. The longer you live, the more absence you carry. Each memory of those gone weighs more heavily, because there is no one to confirm it. I hold all of it silently, each loss layered over the last, until it becomes part of me. I don't feel invisible. I feel unanchored, like a story without footnotes, real but hard to place. Existing now while holding a world that no longer exists outside my mind. The past clings to me, alive and vivid, but it no longer belongs to anyone else. That duality, being alive while everything else fades, is a strange kind of solitude. Sometimes I wonder what will disappear when I am gone, which memories will vanish quietly along with me. It is not fear that rises, it is humility. The recognition that life is temporary, and all we leave behind eventually becomes memory in someone else's mind, or nothing at all. I am the last witness to some of my world. Outliving those who knew you best teaches that connection is temporary, yet its impact endures. Even now, my habits, my pauses, my reactions are shaped by people I will never see again. Though they are gone, they remain in me. The life I live is still theirs, in pieces quietly folded into who I have become. I've stopped trying to explain myself fully. Stories are too long, context too layered. Instead, I let moments exist as they are. A conversation, a silence, a shared glance. Even brief interactions still matter, even if they cannot be fully understood. They are enough to remind me that life, however diminished in witnesses, still has meaning. At 92, I finally understand that being truly known is rare. It does not happen often. When it does, it is a treasure. And when it ends, it leaves a quiet echo, a persistent reminder that once you were fully seen and that it shaped the person you became. That echo lives inside me, steady, unbroken, even in the absence of those who created it. I outlived the people who knew me, but I carry them with me. In my pauses, my habits, my laughter, and the way I remember the smallest things. Even if no one else witnesses it, it remains alive. As long as I remember, I am not entirely alone, and that quiet companionship, fragile and invisible, is enough to keep me going until the end.